Morning to all of you. It's interesting that a lot of serious people are here because the audience seems to be, of the right size for where we hopefully can have a meaningful discussion. Everybody says improving general enrollment ratio. I think it's a marketing problem. And as you can see, even with this title, we are not able to attract. So how are we attracting students to come for higher education is a debatable point. Basically, I just want to go through this exercise, and I'll give some of my experience working in a place where there are no railways, there are no airports, roads are bad, we have landslides, hilly area, rains 7 months in a year, and trying to establish a university gave me an idea of what are the challenges one goes through. And I just thought I'll share it today with all of you. Basically, when I look at the whole concept of gross enrollment ratio, actually Nagaland has done extremely well, I can say that. Because Nagaland, when we look at it, I think national average, probably we have already crossed 30% general enrollment ratio, which is far, far ahead of the rest. Now, it is not that those children are studying in Nagaland. In fact, we have nearly, our total population is hardly around 20 lakhs. And the university system, which has about 24,000 students studying there, but there are about 40,000 students studying outside, be it Delhi, be it Bangalore, etc. Now, when I look at general enrollment ratio issue, when I look at Nagaland, a lot of mistakes we did when we established a university. The first fundamental mistake which we did was we never had a postgraduate program in physics or mathematics. So in the whole process, science got a big hit. And in the whole process, the government of India under the Common Minimum Program wanted to start engineering college. And when I joined, I took the trouble of starting engineering college. We got the AICTE approval in 2007, and they gave me 60 seats in each branch. We started 5 branches, I thought, which are topical. But to date, I've never been able to cross more than 80 students. Mind you, my seats are 300, and we sort of still top around 80 students per year joining the thing. There are a couple of reasons for the ratio being very less. Number one, our school education system in Nagaland doesn't give much marks. So the children don't even meet 45% marks, which is required. So one of the reasons why general enrollment ratios are poor in some of these parts is one where the children don't even meet the minimum requirement. Number two is that we have this AIEEE exam, and many of them do not make it. So what I did, I said, okay, every state in the Northeast, I gave 12 seats each, so that for each subject, so that I'm able to attract students from all over all the 8 states of the Northeast. But again, the same issue comes that the children come with a background where they are not yet equipped for doing an engineering program, simply because they are very weak in physics and maths, which are the very foundation for an engineering program. And the most popular programs with the university has been always the arts program, so which is true elsewhere also. So we have number of affiliated colleges, we have about 54. I can say 40 of them run the arts program. But the number of people who run the science program are hardly 5 colleges. And that too, I find that by the time they come to final year, the number of students who are passing out are hardly 5 or 10 out of the science stream. Most of them are popularly botany, zoology, these kind of programs. So, why I'm trying to emphasize this is that as far as the Nagaland or the rest of the Northeast is concerned, we have just not begun on an education. Number two, I must also say that in Nagaland, the education actually came into scenario only in 1878. And the first colleges started to name only in 1959. So most of them who could afford or whose parents were progressive send them to Calcutta to learn, and that's all what the limited population. In fact, but for World War I, I don't think Nagas were even exposed to what an outside world was. So there are a lot of barriers. Even today you have inner line permits, so entry into the place is very difficult. So that has created its own problem. So when you look at it, each area has its own problem, what one encounters. And we don't have any medical college. And a lot of people in Assam say, look, 80% of the population is in Assam. Only 20% is in the rest of the 7 states of this thing. So why is government investing so much? As far as the government is concerned, I think government is very clear that we have to carry everybody forward. And Nagaland, I must say, we are still in the hunting age, literally to mean it in the sense that even agriculture age, we are still sell 10 cucumbers or 30 tomatoes. I mean, that's what you see on the street. I mean, there's nothing called a big this thing. And number 2, the major cities, which we call as only is Dimapur and Kohima, and at the most Mokokchung. So we have 17,000 odd square kilometers of land, but it is so scattered that there are very few pockets. And urbanization has also hit us very hard. It is like everybody likes to be in Delhi, Bombay, Madras, or Calcutta. I think we must also talk about that people all prefer to study in the major cities. So urbanization is a factor nobody is looking into in the general enrollment ratio. Another issue which we have to say is, we are talking of general enrollment where, like if you look at Delhi or Bombay or something, the cutoffs are too high and children are not able to make it. So it has led to sprawling of a lot of colleges because there's a huge market which one sees. So one is general enrollment ratio which we want to increase, but the other end is quality of education. Now, when I started the engineering program in Nagaland, I can tell you I couldn't even get an MTech to come and teach the program. So we had to take BTechs or BEs with some experience to come and teach. So what did we do? Okay, how to get over this problem? So in 2008, I started doing optical fiber linking and trying to connect with the rest of the country so that we could hear lectures. And luckily, the National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning had covered about 5,000 hours of recorded video lectures. So we were the first in the country to put it on practice. And luckily, IIITM and Trivandrum was kind enough to collaborate with us. So we linked the optical fiber and we started this thing. And that was the first time we started seeing, and I can tell you that the National Mission on Education, ICT, took off 6 months after we started the whole program. So very few people will know that Nagaland was the first place. Another major issue was our examination results, where if the results are not declared on time, children lose interest in coming to the college. And so recently we automated the whole examination, so which used to take me 4 months to declare the results. Now we feel we should be able to declare it in less than 1 month. So what I'm trying to aim at declaring it in less than 10 days. Now, that was a big next step which we took, because what we have done essentially is that we supply the question papers online to every college. So 8 out of the 11 districts we are able to deliver the questions. Others we provide the CD with the security, this thing. So because moving around is a big problem, because there is no proper transport system, a whole lot of things, so there is no incentive. In fact, I see that many school children have to walk a lot of distance. Just to give you an example, the former governor of Maharashtra and Goa, he was telling me once, I was sitting across to him, just to appear in the school exam, he walked 160 kilometers, that's a place called Mokokchung, to Kohima to appear in the school board exam. That shows a lot of drive to do it. So in all these smaller places where people are stuck up, do not have even access to reaching a place. So general enrollment ratio largely has been affected because of not ability to go. Just to give you an example, we didn't even have a university campus till I joined. And I created the university campus. And I can tell you, in Kohima nearby, they gave me land. Land is a major issue in whole of Northeast, I must tell you. That because the land belongs to the people, the government doesn't have any land. So many times we have to negotiate with the owners of the land who will donate the land. And then it comes with a lot of riders, which I don't want to go through it. But what I'm trying to say is that there is no conducive environment. The government doesn't have a regulatory policy to open up institutions. Because, in fact, I remember when Rajiv Gandhi ji in his 87 came to lay the foundation stone for the university, only one villager agreed to give some group of 800 acres. And the whole of Nagaland refused to give him land for education. So what I'm trying to say is, we have a region which we have, whereas in extremes like Delhi, you don't have land to set up the institution. So we have come down on this thing. So, and number two, what we find is that because we don't have even a single industry, there's no incentive for education. Because they say, where do we go after this? We have nearly 40,000 students who are unemployed graduates. So that is also creating its own problem because they don't know where to go. And everybody is hammering for a government job. So what we are seeing is what was happening in the rest of India, like Delhi, Bombay, Madras, in the 60s is what we are seeing in 2011. Okay? So what we are seeing is that there is a region of India where there is an enthusiasm to learn, provided we are able to, but we don't have teachers, we don't have things. So essentially the general enrollment ratio has to first create the basic infrastructure, basic this thing. I think it is futile, I personally find, to talk of GER when we have not even thought about what are the minimum requirements to set up in a place before we do it. Otherwise, only Delhi is going to be crowded, Bombay is going to be crowded, Madras is going to be crowded, Bangalore is going to be crowded, and it becomes a sort of marketplace where you pay any amount, you get admission. It brings about a whole thing. So what I personally feel that, just to close, that in Nagaland there are two interesting projects which I must say. What is called, there is a village development board and we have communitization. These are two examples the rest of you may not be aware of. So in the village development board program, what essentially, it is a legislation passed by the state government where the villages itself run its own villages. Just like our Panchayati Raj, they had another system. But more than anything else, when the communitization came in 2002, they take care of education, they take care of health, and they take care of power supply to the village. And as far as taking care of power, 20% extra money is paid by the state government to the village so that this thing. And as far as the schools are concerned, if the teacher doesn't report for one day, his salary, whatever is saved, is used for maintenance. So these are two concepts which are brought in, which increase the the enrollment ratio even at school level, and slowly it is picking up. So what I'm saying, there are certain legislations which the society has brought about, which has brought in a change. So I'm just sharing this because we also in the national level, we have to do some soul searching and take a very serious view how to increase. And secondly, where are we going to employ them finally? I think these are two issues. I'll just stop over here because I'm sure there are others to share, and then later we'll have a debate. Thank you.